Last night, Nebraska Athletic Director Trev Alberts said that the sellout streak is still intact for the Indiana game coming up this weekend, and that it's on a week-to-week basis on life support. Is that important? Is the sellout streak important to you? I don't know, but it always seems to set people off, so it's a good idea to make a YouTube video about it, because I got work I don't really want to do right now, and I'd rather do this with you. I'm John Johnston, Corn Nation. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button on this video so more people see it and I can feel better about myself as a human being. You know, I saw where Steve Sipple last night or some recently said on Big Red Wrap-Up that the sellout streak is part of Nebraska's identity. We would use words like identity because we just stuff them in there to find stuff like when we can't think of something else to come up with. Quite frankly, I think it's kind of lazy to do that. It's kind of like saying culture, you know, or a guy has a good motor. You know, they're just standard descriptions. You throw things in there and they define and people go, oh yeah, maybe it is. I think there's very pragmatic reasons for Nebraska's sellout streak to stay intact. There's very good reasons why you should keep going to the games, even though the product on the field may be difficult to watch and suck. The sellout streak is part of Nebraska's brand. Another word I hate, but it's kind of important to marketing people and people who sell stuff. And Nebraska has one of the biggest brands, which is why we're still relevant, even though we're completely terrible at football and could go 1-11 this season. Why is it important to Nebraska's brand? It's important to Nebraska's brand because it's easy for an announcer while they're watching a game to describe the loyalty of Nebraska's fan base. It's like a little soundbite. They can say something like, Nebraska has sold out 386 games in a row. That's amazing. What a loyal fan base. And that's it. They don't have to go into explaining anything. It's a very easy tagline. It's like a bumper sticker or a t-shirt slogan. And people eat stuff that's very easy. And why is that important? That's important because we need to sell ourselves. We need to sell ourselves to the next coach. We need to sell ourselves to the next recruit. We need to sell ourselves to other fan bases. Well, we don't really, that last part. But selling yourself to a next coach, when they say, hey, we keep selling out games all the time, you're going to have a crowd, which means all the recruits are going to show up and they're going to go, I'm going to play in front of 80,000 people or whatever the number is going to be next year when they redo the stadium. That's a big deal. And it's, like I said, it's easy to explain to them. It's also easy to explain to people when you're selling advertising. You can say, yeah, everybody shows up. We've sold all the tickets for every game ever in that old man's life that does those YouTube videos. And that's kind of a big deal if you want to make money or you want to be a brand. I know there's a lot of cynics about the sellout streak. All right, there's like, you know, well, it's been fake for a while. Boosters have been buying them up. Or, you know, I saw empty seats. They couldn't have sold all the tickets. And that's the key here. They're selling all the tickets. Does it really matter if they sold them all to boosters? Does it really matter if everybody shows up and there might be some empty seats somewhere? No, it's still a sellout streak. In fact, if you talk to promoters who put on events, they will probably tell you that 90% of tickets sold is considered a sellout. And if we get that picky about Nebraska's sellout streak, I mean, we're really just kind of into this self-loathing, beat ourselves over the head thing. Now, why is it important to Nebraska fans? I think it's important to Nebraska fans to keep going to the games to remind ourselves that this is something we all love, even though it sucks right now, and that we should keep this streak intact because, well, it's part of our identity. You know, it is something we do, even if the relationship right now is kind of bad. I hope that people would look at Nebraska football games for at least the rest of this season and say, you know, this is still something I love. I love being around Nebraska fans. Even if we're all in the stadium bitching about everything together, we're still all sticking together in all kinds of weather. But the important thing to remember about the sellout streak is it's about sales. You can say it's about identity. You can say it's about culture, but it's really about selling yourself to people. And it is important for Nebraska football, especially right now and moving forward. So I know this is easy for me, some old guy that sits in Minnesota and isn't going to make it to a game this year. But I hope the Nebraskans continue to get to the games and somehow find a way to enjoy themselves. And maybe we'll make something of it the rest of the year. And we'll see what happens. That's my take on the Nebraska sellout streak. Love y'all. Please subscribe. Take care of yourselves. Go Big Red.